Hello once again, this is Eddie Inzauto, GamerNode.com, and today I'm here with a board game review for Cinque Terre from Rio Grande Games, designed by Chris Handy. This is a pick up and deliver game that's set in the 5 villages of Italy, hence Cinque Terre. And it's a great little game, it's fun, it's colorful, it's bright, and it's right in that Ticket to Ride level where it seems very simple, it has very simple rules, a few actions dictate the entire game, but there's more depth of strategy and multiple ways you can go about playing the game in order to try to win. Let's take a look at it and I'll tell you what I think. So this is the board in Cinque Terre, and in this game, players will be competing to score the most victory points by traveling around this circular path in one direction continuously, picking up various crops from the different fields in the hills, and then delivering them to each of these 5 towns. And at each town, they'll score the number of points as designated by the die matching the color of the good they're dropping off. Each turn, there are 3 actions that a player takes, and they choose from 4 possible actions. One is that you can move up to 4 spaces in a clockwise direction. The next is that you can draw 1 produce card, either from the deck or from the tableau here of cards that are laid out, and then a new one comes out, just like in Ticket to Ride. Or you can spend cards to harvest produce at any of the fields surrounding the location that your truck is at. So in this case, we have 3 garlic and 1 orange card, and we spend those 4 cards to pick up 3 garlic and 1 orange cube. And you can do up to 4 in a turn. You can also spend any 2 cards together for 1 good of a different color. So 2 cards acts as a wild. And the last option players have on their turn, as one of their 3 actions, is to sell goods at the town at which their truck is located. So in this case, blue is at Vernazza, where there is a 4 in white, a 3 in yellow, and a 3 in orange, which means that garlic is worth 4 points, lemon is worth 3 points, and oranges are worth 3 points each. So in this case, we would sell those 3 garlic and 1 orange for 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3 for 15 points, at which point we would place these cubes on our player board in the Vernazza space, and then increase our points on the scoring track by 15. Now, if a player ever sells all 8 of the required produce at any given town, they become the most popular vendor at that town and take the most popular vendor tile, and each one is worth a different number of points. Vernazza is worth 10, and these tiles, along with the order cards players will be collecting throughout the game, determine when the game end is triggered. Throughout the game, order cards will show up on the side of the board, and players will have the opportunity to satisfy those based on how many goods have been delivered to the various villages, and take a single card from the cards that are face up. So if I were to have sold 1 grape and 1 zucchini at Montegeroso and Vernazza, I could take that card at the end of my turn, score the points listed on the top left, and then move 1 step closer to triggering the end of the game. I would then flip up a new card for the tableau on the side of the board that's equal to the number of players in the game, or draw a card blindly from the top of the deck and keep it for myself, hidden from all the other players. I would then have to satisfy that before the end of the game, or else lose points. So that's Cinque Terre from Rio Grande Games, and I think it's a great little game. It's like right in that perfect weight level to bring beginners into the board gaming hobby, but it does have enough complexity for people to see the value in playing it repeatedly. It fits right into that same Ticket to Ride level, and it has a lot of those same elements, easy to play, very simple rules, just a few actions per turn, and a layered approach to achieving your goals. You take 1 step, then you take another, then you take another. And you do have to strategize a little bit. You have to make plans, not big and complex plans, but there is planning, there is strategizing. There is a bit of luck to it in that you're drawing cards from the top of the deck blindly sometimes, and there's also the opportunity to draw those order cards from the top of that deck blindly in an attempt to get that secret goal that you know whether you've completed or not, and your opponents don't, that you can reveal at the end of the game. It has that mix of during game scoring and end game scoring, so that you see who's in the lead, but you're never quite sure until the very end who's won, and you can have those exciting end game moments where people are revealing their scores and going back and forth, jockeying for first place. Like I said, the art is great. It's colorful, it's bright. I really enjoy looking at the board. It's just beautiful when you put it out on the table. The little trucks, the components are solid. Obviously, it's just some colored cubes, but the way that everything fits together is really nice, and it's really enjoyable to look at. And because the game features dice that you roll to dictate the cost of each of the different types of produce, it dictates that selling market at each of the 5 villages. It can make each game play a little bit differently. In games where the dice come out with very low values, players might be really trying for those produce orders. That might be the main focus of the game. But if all of the dice tend to come out with high values, if you have a lot of 5s and 6s, you might see players decide, hey, wait a second, I can score a lot more points a lot quicker by picking up a few different types of produce and delivering them to these particular villages. But the limit of 8 pieces of produce per village stop anyone from just running away with that type of a strategy, because you sell 8 pieces of produce and now you're locked out from selling at that village again. And that'll also prevent you from achieving any of your produce orders in the future that involve that village. So I might finish up Montegeroso, and then all the cards that come out with produce orders after I've sold off my 8 initial pieces of produce at that village, they might include that village. And now I'm stuck, like, oh, I can never take that because I only sold garlic there, and this is asking for eggplant, or there is no eggplant. This is asking for zucchini or mushrooms, and I have no space to sell at that village. I've tapped it out. So there are a lot of parts that work together that way, and although it's simple, you can see how the different elements play together to make it more dynamic, and that's a lot of fun. Now, I don't think it's the greatest game ever. I do enjoy it. I will gladly play it any time. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 on the GamerNode scale. I like the game. Makes me happy. So yeah, that's a 4 out of 5 for Cinque Terre by Chris Handy from Rio Grande Games. And as a pick-up and deliver game especially, I would think of this before a lot of other games, just because in that genre, I think that this one stands out at a really solid weight, a really solid level of enjoyment for 2 to 4 players. And it works well with all those player counts. So yeah, that's Cinque Terre. Thanks for watching. If you like our videos, please do subscribe and give this one a thumbs up. Follow us on Twitter and like our Facebook page. And then definitely head over to GamerNode.com for everything that we put out on a regular basis. Until next time, I'm Eddie Inzauto. Have fun out there.